other side has said, Dr. Makali, the economy needs to grow, and it can only grow through development. And it is on that basis, Honorable Speaker, that I would like to say this, that at this particular point in time, in 2023, and you remember when we went to Mombasa and we had the issues, and when we were, we only had around between 10 and 14 million in our accounts, like the whip has stated. And just like it has been said, the economy has grown. Yes, because right now, we have more money than at that particular time now. If you look at the statistics that we are supposed to have 50 billion for CDF. As we speak now, we have around 9 billion that has been disbursed. The Treasury, in their communication yesterday, has said they will disburse 10 billion shillings a month. And they disbursed in January 10 billion. We are waiting for the disbursement for February, 10 billion. And as they follow up that 10 billion per month, according to their letter, by the time we get to June, they will have disbursed all the 50 billion, and every constituency will have its money. And those are facts. And that is correct. Because if we disburse 10 billion February, 10 billion March, 10 billion April, 10 billion May, 10 billion June, we will have disbursed all the money that is required to be disbursed for NG CDF. And these are facts, and this is the reality. Today, Treasury may not be able to disburse all the money. But this letter that has come in today to Parliament is a commitment that the 10 billion, the 50 billion will be disbursed within the period for which it is required to have been disbursed. Honorable Speaker, we even know how expenditure goes in constituencies. Today, if Opio and I is given all his 157 million today, if it is in his account, will he spend it, all of it today? It's not possible. Absorption is not possible. This money must come on a formula. 10 billion every month, what can be managed? But today, if Jared Okello is given all...
Give him a minute.
1 minute. If all the money is given to him, 100+ billion today, what will he do with it? All of it. It has to be given in phases so that it is useful to the constituencies. Honorable Speaker, Order. I want to say this. We must be realistic even when we demand CDF. We must be realistic on the demands that we make. CDF must be paid within the financial year, and it will be paid within the financial year. I rest my case. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Atandi. Order, honorable members.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to say that this matter is very, very serious, and I am ashamed as a member of Parliament when the Honorable Owen Bayer is rising on the floor, Honorable Speaker, to defend the Minister for Treasury, who has already lied to this House and misled this House through a communication to you. It is shameful, Honorable Speaker, and Owen Bayer, you are the reason this House is disrespected by everybody. This Parliament has no respect because of members like you.
Order.
How can you stand here to defend Treasury CS, who has misled this House and disparaged the image of the Speaker?
Address your colleagues with decorum. Owen Bayer is not on the floor for discussion.
Honorable Speaker,
talk about CDF.
Honorable Speaker, as I conclude, yes, I want to say, Honorable Speaker, that in addition to CDF, the national government, the executive, has refused to disburse development expenditure which was passed in this House. There is no development that is going on in this country, Madam Speaker, Honorable Speaker, and every day, members of the executive are all over the country, driving in fuel guzzlers. The president is everywhere, all over the country, is launching non-existent projects. When we know very well that, Madam Honorable Speaker, we pass a budget in this House, there's no development going on. Madam Speaker, Honorable Speaker, it is a shame that we have a government that is running this country. This country actually should be closed, my Honorable Speaker, because if every day You see the president is all over the country launching development projects.
Honorable
It is a shame.
Order, and there's a point of order from a colleague here.
Honorable Speaker, I stand on relevance because I think the matters pertaining to CTF affects both sides of the House, every member of this House. And it is wrong for Honorable Atandi to discuss the president who is not in this House when it comes to matters of CDF. Please, let's stick to CDF. We discuss about how we want it to be dispersed within our constituency, and more so the statement that was read by Honorable Chair for CDF. With all due respect, Honorable Atandi, let's leave the president out of this.
Indeed, Honorable Atandi, if you listen to the statement from Musa Sirma, there was no mention of the president anywhere. Talk about CDF, how it affects your constituency and how it should be disbursed. That is the issue on the floor.
Honorable Speaker, thank you. Honorable Speaker, what I was trying to say, Honorable Speaker, is that there's no development going on across the country. CDF included, all the projects that we passed here. We have 4 months to the end of the financial year. And if you walk across the country, there's nothing going on. Staff in ministries are just lazing around. So we have to really get serious. If we want this country to grow, it can't grow by just talking. So government side, you should stop talking and go and work, because you took over power because you had to serve the country. Yeah, that's the message I'm trying to tell you. You cannot come here and shout here and defend government when there's nothing going on. Yeah.
Today you have changed your sitting position.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Being a first-timer, I feel the name lie should apply in this parliament.
It will
for
not.
The first time.
It will not.
Reason?
Order.
Reason? Okay, I withdraw. But reason, Mr. Speaker, on 3rd of May, we had the Minister for Education, Mr. Machogu, when he came here, he told the women reps on the sanitary pads issue. On 3rd of October, I remember very well, we were told we were going to be given an answer. Till today, the allocation of sanitary pads, which is very paramount to our girls, is less than 1 billion. We are talking of less than 1 billion. This is second month our girls are in school, meaning they are not having their periods. That's why we cannot receive those essential things. As a woman, that is a cycle. You go every month. And when there is change of weather, you can go twice a month. When you eat well, it is a whole month. You can go 3 times, Mr. Speaker. Safe to you if you are pregnant, which we don't encourage our young girls at this particular time. We've not been given any answer, Mr. Speaker. Yet we are told Parliament is the house of order. It is a hallowed house. What are we? What are we, Mr. Speaker? Today is Valentine. Why are women in this house, most of us wearing black? Because women are killed, femicide, everything. So why I stood, Mr. Speaker, is to confirm that what we are told, I don't see why we are substituting, even if it's not a parliament language, but everything, it looks like it is, yes, Mr. Speaker.
Order,
thank you.
There's a point of order here. Have you finished? Donya, have you finished?
No, she has not. Mr. Speaker.
Order, Chepkonga, there is no disorder. She has finished.
No, she has not finished. She just said she has not. She has confirmed.
She's yielded the floor.
I had, Mr. Speaker. You know you are very far from her.
Yes. Give him the mic.
Why, Mr. Speaker, I respect Honorable Donya. I would just like her to, decorum requires that you consider the sensitivity of the matter that you are contributing to. 2, we all belong to different communities that are congregated here in this assembly. Some of the things are not said when in the midst of elders, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, there are children that are watching, their boys Boys are not told such kind of things at an infant age. And even my culture, Mr. Speaker, and I'm talking about my culture, I'm not talking about your culture, Honorable Samsam. Your culture is different from mine. Even yourself, the one who is shouting, that culture of yours allows you to say such things, but mine does not allow. You can even see the deputy speaker is also on a point of order to agree with me.
You have made your point.
What are you talking about? You sit down.
You have made your point.
Honorable Speaker, I want to ask Honorable Chepkonga, who's my MP, to apologize to the women and the girls of this country. There is nothing shameful, there is nothing to hide about having periods. Because Honorable Chepkonga has a wife who had periods, who gave birth, and who got pregnant by him. Yeah, so please, there is nothing shameful. Nothing shameful.
Order, Deputy Speaker. Order. Honorable Nguna, you are rapidly distinguishing yourself as a major heckler in this house. And it's not a very good reputation. Order, honorable members. Order. I thought you were discussing very serious business. And you are now degenerating into trivia. That is not helpful. Women rep of Kilifi.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika. Nataka kuzungumzia kuhusu pesa za ngafu ambazo ni za uwakilishi wa kike ndani ya bunge. Wabunge wanazungumza kuhusu pesa za NGCDF peke yake. Sisi kama uwakilishi wa kike ndani ya bunge hili tuko katika dau hilo, hatujapata pesa hizi. Mheshimiwa Spika, mimi Mbeyu nikiwa kwa mara ya pili ndani ya bunge hili, wanayoyafanya wabunge wa eneo bunge moja tunayafanya sisi zaidi. Kama ni kulipa basari, kama ni kulipa pesa za full scholarship, mimi Mbeyu nafanya kule Kilifi. Kufikia sasa hivi Mheshimiwa Spika, sijapata pesa zangu za project za ngafu first quarter na second quarter. Sijapata pesa za basari. Watoto paka saa hizi ninazokuambia wamekaa kwa ofisi yangu, niliwaambia nitawalipia basari, nitawalipia fee yao ya full scholarship kufikia last week kabla hatujafungua bunge. Akaunti yangu haijaingia pesa. Wakilishi wa kike hapa hawana pesa. Hii serikali yetu ni nini inawatakia kizazi chetu cha watoto ambao ni wakwenda shule? Tuko tukisema elimu kwanza. Mimi pale Kilifi najulikana mama lao, mama G, elimu kwanza ndani ya Kilifi. Sijaweza kutimiza ndoto yangu ya kulipia hawa watoto karo za shule. Ninaonekana mimi ni muongo. Pesa tulizungumza hapa kuhusu sodo, Mheshimiwa Spika, ukiwa hapa, Waziri Machogo akiwa hapa, milioni 470 ambao ni milioni 10 kila jimbo, ni majimbo 47. Hatujaona hizi pesa paka leo. Umelezewa mambo ya hedhi na wasichana wa kike, wengine wanapata mara 3, mara 4, wengine mara 5. Mheshimiwa Spika, wale wanakula vizuri kwao na si aibu. Nataka kuzungumzia Mheshimiwa amesema ni aibu. Hakuna aibu ya hedhi ndani ya baba wala mama. Walio hapa ni wazazi wa watoto wa kike. Aibu ya hedhi inatoka wapi? Wao ni mabwana wa mabibi ambao wanapata hedhi. Aibu ya kuzungumzia mambo ya hedhi ndani ya bunge inatoka wapi? Mheshimiwa Spika, tunataka hizi pesa ziweze kutoka, watoto wetu waweze kwenda shule na tuweze kutimiza ndoto yetu ile ya 100% transition, watoto wa Kenya wasome. Asante Mheshimiwa.
Musa Sirma. Order, honorable members. Can you now listen to your chairman?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank all the members who have raised their concerns as concerning NGCDF. First, I would like to reply on the issue of 1 billion for Nairobi from Beatrice Elachi. Part of that amount of 1 billion, which has been brought to CDF, has never been given a special priority. It is part of the big amount of money which have been given to the CDF. The only option now is for us to discuss with the board so that they prioritize that 1 billion for Nairobi so that it is separated as a different entity or different amount of money, which is not the normal disbursement which usually comes. Second, Mr. Speaker, is our minority leader, my good friend.
All the concerns are generic. Don't answer each member in person.
Yes.
Just make a response to the issues raised.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want also to put the fears that this committee of my committee is the worst committee. I want to tell members.
Musa Sirma.
Yes.
Answer 3 issues. Why is there a delay? When is the money being disbursed? Is there going to be any delay thereafter?
Okay.
Whether you are competent or
because
not,
I wanted to put it clear, because I inherited a debt of 4.9 billion, and by the end of June last year, I had cleared all the pennies. Mr. Speaker, thank you for that, and I want to say that the National Treasury has committed to pay the 10 billion every month, and I want to take our members back to last year. Last year, the first disbursement we got of 4 billion was done in February, and another 4 billion before the end of February. That made a total of 8 billion by end of February. And Mr. Speaker, by the end of June, including the debt of 4.9 billion, were all paid. And I'm sure members whom we have been talking together last year, those who managed to interact with me, most of them were congratulating me for doing a good job. I don't know what changed. Because they were saying you have done a good job. What has happened now is we are expecting.
Give him the mic. Give him the mic.
I want you to trust me, members, because I never let you down last year, and I will still do the same this year, because it is about disbursement, and I promise you by end of February you have 20 billion shillings in your account, and the other of March, that makes 30 billion, and in April you will have 40 billion, and in May you will have 50 billion, and the balance of 7 billion will be paid in June. So it is as easy as that. Those are the mathematics which are there. So, Mr. Speaker, all this, it is all about trust. If you trusted me last year, you have a chance of trusting me this year. So I want to ask members, as we move forward, let us move with one spirit, that we have the hope that the future is bright, and our children will get their fees before the end of this month, and therefore we should be able to agree on the issues which we have put forward, and the plans which have been put by the government. Treasury are going to release that money. So, Mr. Speaker, we have commitment letters which we are working with, and therefore let us not refer to the commitment letters which were addressed before. Today we got a commitment, a firm commitment, and I have put it before you members, that you can read that commitment and hold me to it. So, Mr. Speaker, I beg to stop at that.
Honorable members, honorable members, thank you, Musa Sirma. As you know, the chair has no dog in this fight. It is your chair whom you elected who has given you an assurance. Let's give him the benefit of doubt. And I will also, as the leader of the House, as your Speaker, exert some soft pressure elsewhere to see if the money can be forthcoming as quickly as possible. Let's now proceed to back to order number 6 and invite Esther Passaris. I had approved a motion of adjournment for you to move, to give notice of your motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the Standing Order number 33-1, I rise to seek leave for adjournment of the House to discuss a definite matter of urgent national importance in regard to rising femicide in the country. Article 26 of the Constitution provides that every person has the right to life. This right is inalienable and accrues to every person regardless of age, gender, and social status. Sadly, there have been increasing cases of femicide and violence targeting women and girls in Kenya,
some water,
and especially Nairobi County. This is disheartening and goes against the provisions of the law and basic human rights. Honorable Speaker, femicide is not just a crime, but a gendered crime and a violation of human rights. It is noted that the recent cases of femicide are not isolated incidents, but symptoms of a broader issue requiring urgent national solutions. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I seek leave for the adjournment of the House to discuss this matter of national concern with a view to exploring possible ways of curbing the widespread cases of femicide. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Have the requisite support. Thank you. Order. You have the requisite numbers. You may take your seats, honorable members. Order. Honorable Passaris. Order. Order, members. Members on their feet, take your seats. Order, order, Owen. Order. Order. Honorable Passaris, you have the requisite numbers to support your motion of adjournment, and I direct that you will move your motion after order number 14 or at 5, whichever comes earlier. And I'll allocate it 2 hours for debate. Next order.
Order number 8, procedural motion, limitation of debate on sessional papers.
Majority Leader.
Honorable Speaker, session paper. That pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 97-1, this House orders that each speech in a debate on any sessional paper shall be limited as follows. A maximum of 2.5 hours with not more than 20 minutes for the mover in moving and 5 minutes for any other member speaking, including the leader of the majority party and the leader of the minority party and the chairperson of the relevant committee, if the sessional paper is not moved by the chairperson of the relevant committee, and that 10 minutes before the expiry of the time, the mover shall be called upon to reply, and further that priority in speaking shall be accorded to the leader of the majority party and the leader of the minority party in that order. Honorable Speaker, I would like to ask the Honorable Jamatia to second.
Mr. Speaker, I second. Thank you.
Order, honorable members. Order. Order. Kisii Women Rep, take your seats. Honourable members, I now propose the question, which is that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Orders 97(1), this House orders that each speech in a debate on any session or paper shall be limited as follows: a maximum of 2.5 hours, with not more than 20 minutes for the mover in moving and 5 minutes for any other member speaking, including the leader of the majority party and the leader of the minority party, and the chairperson of the relevant committee if the session or paper is not moved by the chairperson of the relevant committee. And that 10 minutes before the expiry of the time, the mover shall be called upon to reply, and further, that priority in speaking shall be accorded to the leader of the majority party and the leader of the minority party in that order. I now put the question. Leah, take your seat. Take your seat. I'll now put the question, which is that pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 97(1), this House orders that each speech in a debate on any session or paper shall be limited as follows: a maximum of 2.5 hours, with not more than 20 minutes for the mover in moving and 5 minutes for any other member speaking, including the leader of the majority party and the leader of the minority party and the chairperson of the relevant committee, if the session or paper is not moved by the chairperson of the relevant committee. And that 10 minutes before the expiry of the time, the mover shall be called upon to reply, and further, that priority in speaking shall be accorded to the leader of the majority party and the leader of the minority party in that order. As many as of that opinion say aye. Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 9, procedural motion, limitation on debate on reports of constitutional commissions and independent offices.
Majority Leader.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move the motion that pursuant to the provisions Standing Order 97(1), this House orders that each speech in debate on reports of constitutional commissions and independent offices be limited as follows: a maximum of 4 hours with not more than 30 minutes for the mover in moving and 10 minutes in replying, a maximum of 30 minutes for the chairperson of the relevant committee, and a maximum of 10 minutes for any other member speaking except the leader of the majority party and the leader of the minority party, who shall be limited to a maximum of 15 minutes each, and that priority be accorded to the chairperson of the relevant committee, the leader of the majority party and leader of the minority party in that order. Honorable Speaker, I request the women rep for Kericho to second.
Who is
women rep for
seconding? Kemei.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I second.
Order, Honorable McClap. Honorable members, I now propose the question that pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 97(1), this House orders that each speech in debate on reports of constitutional commissions and independent offices be limited as follows: a maximum of 4 hours with not more than 30 minutes for the mover in moving, 10 minutes in replying, a maximum of 30 minutes for the chairperson of the relevant committee, and a maximum of 10 minutes for any other member speaking, except the leader of the majority party and the leader of the minority party, who shall be limited to a maximum of 15 minutes each, and that priority be accorded to the chairperson of the relevant committee, the leader of the majority party and the leader of the minority party in that order. I now put the question, which is that pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 97(1), this House orders that each speech in debate on reports of constitutional commissions and independent offices be limited as follows: a maximum of 4 hours with not more than 30 minutes for the mover in moving and 10 minutes in replying, a maximum of 30 minutes for the chairperson of the relevant committee, and a maximum of 10 minutes for any other member speaking except the leader of the majority party and the leader of the minority party, who shall be limited to a maximum of 15 minutes each, and that priority be accorded to the chairperson of the relevant committee, the leader of the majority party, and the leader of the minority party in that order. As members of that opinion say aye. Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 10, procedural motion, limitation on debate on the annual estimates and committee of supply.
Next order.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move the following motion that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 97-1, this House orders that each speech in debate on the report of the Budget and Appropriations Committee on Budget Estimates contemplated under Standing Order 239 and 240 be limited as follows. A. 1. General supply debate. A maximum of 3 sitting days with 30 minutes for the mover in moving and 15 minutes in replying. A maximum of 15 minutes for each of the chairpersons of the departmental committees and a maximum of 10 minutes for any other member speaking except the leader of the majority party and the leader of the minority party, who shall be limited to a maximum of 15 minutes each, and the priority in speaking be accorded to the leader of the majority party, the leader of the minority party, and the respective chairpersons of the departmental committee in the order that they appear in the second schedule to standing orders. And 2, committee of supply, a maximum of 6 sitting days for the consideration of the proposed allocations to the respective votes or programs in the order specified in the schedule submitted by the Budget and Appropriations Committee. I ask the Honorable Pokose to second.
Honorable Speaker, I second.
Order, honorable members. I now propose the question, which is that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 97-1, this House orders that each speech in a debate on the report of the Budget and Appropriations Committee on Budget Estimates contemplated under Standing Orders 239 and 240 be limited as follows. 1. General supply debate. A maximum of 3 sitting days with 30 minutes for the mover in moving and 15 minutes in replying. A maximum of 15 minutes for each of the chairpersons of the departmental committees and a maximum of 10 minutes for any other member speaking, except the leader of the majority party and the leader of the minority party, who shall be limited to a maximum of 15 minutes each, and that priority in speaking be accorded to the leader of the majority party, the leader of the minority party, and the respective chairpersons of the departmental committees in the order that they appear in the second schedule on the standing orders. 2, committee of supply. A maximum of 6 sitting days for the consideration of the proposed allocations to the respective votes and programs in the order specified in the schedule submitted by the Budget and Appropriations Committee. Yes, Honorable Milemba.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and sorry, Honorable Bokose. I think I have some input on this, and I'm not opposed to what has been read and proposed. However, those in charge of those committees that are charged with the responsibility of budget, issues of supply, and so on and so forth, should bring those reports early enough in the House, Honorable Speaker, so that they are actually given enough time for discussion. I remember in the last session, members moved too fast, and by the time they were passing the so-said proposals, later on, that's how members came to you, Honorable Speaker, asking for the CS for transport to come and explain certain things. I think it needs to be given enough time, and those chairmen bring those reports on time so that members and the country understand exactly what we are doing, especially on that issue. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Undo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I just rejoined or echo the sentiments of my colleague, Honorable Mwalimu. Honorable Speaker, Parliament is a house of debate, and more so is given the task of budget making. In the last session of the last year, Honorable Speaker, we have had this tendency of members rising on certain standing order to curtail debate, to an extent that many of the young MPs and the new MPs have not mastered the art and the process and the stages involved in budget making. I'd want to urge you, and I want to urge the majority leader and the leadership on that side, and the committee members and any member who's in the speaker's panel. Let us do justice to the people of Kenya. Let's allow elaborate and adequate debate on any matters that come before this House. Honorable Speaker, there isn't a very good narrative about Parliament outside there. And on many occasions we have been forced to respond to very snide and bad comments about Parliament. It's time now, we have the opportunity, we have the time to